So, one thing that's been clear with all this COVID-19 stuff is we're all interconnected. And we're going to have to work together going forward to make it through this. I'm a consumer protection attorney. I'm going to do what I can in that field to help folks as much as I can. And so there's things that you can do to protect your family's financial strength and well-being, both now and going forward, so that when we get to the end of this, you come through as unscathed as possible and ready to bounce back. You may need credit to get through it. You may need to take advantage of relief plans that are out there to get through it, and you want to be able to do that, plus make sure your credit doesn't take a big hit, so when we get to the other side, there you are, ready to go, ready to get back doing everything you've been doing before. A lot of the creditors out there have put in place policies, COVID-19 policies. I'm not sure how many folks know about that, but it's important we get the word out about that. So when I say a lot of creditors out there, I really mean almost everybody of any size. Banks, mortgage companies, credit unions, landlords, student loan companies, hospitals, even debt collectors have put in policies. Generally, these policies act like a forbearance plan, and they give 2 or 3 months where you don't have to make payments. And then you'll resume, and the plans differ a little bit, but it's good to know exactly what the plan is offering and exactly the benefits and things you need to be wary about each of these plans. So the first thing to do is know what's out there. You've got a list of your bills. Those are your creditors. Go to those websites. Take a look at those websites for their COVID-19 policies. A lot of them are up there already. They may have different plans that you can look at, and one plan might end up being better for you and your family than another. Get familiar with the terminology that they use, what they call the plans, and have that in your hand, in your head when you make the call. Because the second thing you want to do is make a call. You should call each of these places. I expect there's going to be long waits often. It's worth it to do it. This is an important step. Call up, tell them your situation, tell them you're looking for the best relief you can get for your family. Name specific plans that you've learned from the website, if you were able to get that information from the website, but also ask them what else might be available. You know, these folks oftentimes are folks like us that are in the same situation, and they may be more than happy to help. But what they're doing is sitting at a computer somewhere, reading prompts on a TV screen, prompts that are written by the companies. And the companies might want to sort of steer you into a less advantageous plan unless you bring it up and bring up the other plan. So be a little persistent. Be polite, of course, but be persistent. And make sure you get them to tell you everything they know about that's out there that might be able to help you. And once you've got that, you want to know the details. You want to know, first of all, who are you talking to? This may turn out to be important. So keep notes. Take notes while you're making these calls. Ask the person their name. Write it down. They're usually going to only give you their first name. That's fine. Ask for the employee number or the badge number. They should be able to give you that. Then, once you have figured out what plan works best for you and your family, get the specific name of that plan. Write it down. Get all the terms of the plan. Here's the things you really want to know. Is there interest that's going to accrue during the time where you're not making a payment? Is the plan going to be reported on your credit report as you're still making your payments, or Are they, despite you making your payments according to the plan, are they going to nonetheless report you as late? That's important to know. You want to know exactly what the terms are, if there's an interest rate, what it is, but most importantly, you want to know exactly when your next payment will be due and what exact amount it is in. Then once you have all that information written down in your notes from the person who you recorded their identity in those same notes, go ahead and ask them to send that to you. Send you all the specifics of the plan you're getting into. Most of them should be able to do that. They'll text it to you. They'll send an email, maybe even a letter, but have something in writing from them that gives all the specifics. If they're not willing to do that, or if you get what they send and it's not that specific, it doesn't have all those things that we went through that are important to know, then go ahead and write them a letter. Write them a letter or an email or a text, something you can save though. And, put your address, sign it. If it's a letter, send it by certified mail, return receipt requested. That's about $5 or $6 at the post office. But what that does is give you a little green postcard. When it's delivered, they have to sign for it, and you'll get a little green postcard showing the signature and the date of delivery. But in any event, get that information all fleshed out in your own letter, in your own email, in your own text, in your own communication. Send that on to them. Keep a copy of exactly what's sent, and it should include all those terms, including what happens with the credit reporting, whether interest is being accrued during the time you're in the plan, or if there's a waiver of interest, and the specific terms of when your next payment is due and at exactly what amount. Then you'll want to monitor your credit report. This is important. You don't want your credit report to take a big dive during this crisis. You very well may need your credit either during the crisis or coming out of it. And you can do that by obtaining your credit reports and looking to see how each of those creditors is reporting you and if they're doing it accurately. If you're in one of these plans and they're just reporting that you're late, you don't want that. You don't want the lates, you certainly don't want the lates to add up until they're reporting you in default or in foreclosure. But you don't want any lates on there either. That'll ding your credit score. So what you can do is, if you see that they're reporting it inaccurately, even though you're keeping your end of the bargain on the plan, then you have to dispute. The best way to do that is by mail. Again, the return receipt requested on certified mail, $5 or $6. Put your name, your address, reference the account number, the creditor and the account number somewhere in the letter. Tell them what the plan was and why they're reporting it wrong, what is inaccurate. You told me that once I was in this plan, I wouldn't be reported late, and I'm being reported late on my Experian credit report, for example. And then ask them to investigate it and correct the inaccurate reporting, and then sign it. Make a copy after you sign it. Make a copy of exactly what you sent. It's a good idea to take whatever that communication is from before, either that email or text that you saved that came from the creditor, or your letter where you would confirm the terms of the plan with them, and attach that as part of your dispute. Send the dispute to the creditor at whatever address you have for them. And here's something that most people don't think of, but it's also a very important step. The law says that the credit reporting agencies, that's Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, they have a duty to make sure what's on their reports is accurate. They can't just take whatever the creditor is reporting at face value. If you can show them the creditor is reporting it wrongly, inaccurately, which you should be able to do if you get that first communication confirming the plan terms, then they can remove it no matter what the creditor says. And but to trigger that, you have to not only send the letter to the creditor itself, but also to the credit reporting agency that's reporting it. So that would typically be Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. And you just can send them the same letter that references that account number, that has your full name and address that you've signed, in which you request an investigation. You can send that, you can compose that letter so it's addressed to both the creditor and the credit reporting agency or agencies, or you can send them a separate cover letter, send the credit reporting agencies a separate cover letter where you say, here's a letter where I disputed with the creditor. I ask that you also investigate and remove the inaccurate reporting. Save that, exactly what went out, any enclosures you put in there, and then you're protecting yourself as best as you can. So it's really a 5-step process. You're going to look at the website of the creditors, number 1. Number 2, you're going to call and you're going to take notes. Number 3, you're going to get everything in writing. You're going to be able to produce what the plan terms were, either by your own letter or reference to a communication they sent that you were able to save. Number 4, you're going to monitor your credit reports. And number 5, you're going to dispute where there is inaccuracies on those credit reports. Now we help people all the time with this. We have for many, many years at Treinen Law Office, long before COVID-19 was around, and we've always done this for free. And in doing our part to help, we're going to keep doing that. So if you need help with any part of this process, we'll want you to initiate it, to take those steps that we've talked about. But even if you get hung up on one of the steps, please feel free to call us. Our number is 505-247-1980. We're going to be working remotely, but we'll hear your message and we'll call you back as soon as we can. Please call us. We can help you figure out things like, for example, with the plans, there are a lot of variables. Some quick examples with mortgages, depending on who your investor is, there are going to be different plans available, assuming your mortgage is federally insured, which almost all of them are. We can figure that out for you. It's going to be hard for folks to figure that out on themselves, and then that'll help you know exactly what plans are available for you. With student loans, the Department of Education has waived interest for at least 60 days, but that doesn't necessarily apply to private student loans. Sometimes it's not clear whether you have a government student loan or a private student loan. We can help you figure that out and then help figure out what plans might be available if it is indeed a private student loan. These are things that we have experience with, that we've been doing for years, and we're hoping to be able to help folks with that. With the dispute letters as well, we've been helping people with their dispute letters, make sure they dot the I's, cross the T's, do everything right. We help them with that. We don't hide our participation. We say right in there that, we have you sign it, but we say right in there you've had to get an attorney to help you with this. And that can help. That can help you get the attention that your family's going to need to get through this thing. I think we're going to come out all right. I think we're going to come out stronger by going through this together. We're hoping we can help you and your family. Let us know. Thank you.